Hey, do you guys ever think about the fact that as we get older, we stop imagining things? And no, not in a way that we totally stop imagining, but that we get way sloppy at it. Because as far as I remember, I used to have really wild imaginations. Like, really wild. I used to make up stuff that couldn't possibly exist, but it still felt so real and seemingly normal to me. And now, if I were to think about it, I'd say it's something only a kid can imagine. And well, that's true because now I know what can and can't be, what is possible and what is beyond it. So I guess I've restricted my imaginations to whatever can be. And I don't go beyond the possibilities that could exist. I don't make up stuff that feels super fictional. I just live and imagine grounded in reality, if that can be said. But I miss the times when I used to have those wild imaginations. It seems that everything felt possible then. There were no limits to what could exist, and it was as if I could make it happen if I tried, even though that thing was bringing the stars back to Earth. And that made me realize that I never imagined about real things. It was always something that was way out of reach, but it was always possible and easy in my head. And yes, none of that ever happened. I guess that is one of the factors for toning down on my imaginations. And there were also other things like reality and a word that sometimes I was labeled with. It was delusional. And I came to hate that word, but I don't hate it as much anymore because now there's a phrase popular among people of certain nature. More like myself, I guess. And it goes like, delusion is the best solution. And I feel it sometimes because what can you do when reality feels way too hard? You can't just give up. I'd rather live in my head and be in delusions that make me feel better at least. And that way I don't have to deal with the facts that some things are just impossible. Well, maybe they're not, but at least they feel that way to me. And so, I'm trying to remember all of the things that I used to imagine with such intensity that it felt like I lived in another world. And it really felt like I was flying, although in reality I was only riding a bicycle. And I wish I could go back to that time and not feel so bad for living in my own world. It was magical, an escape, I guess. And now, no matter how hard I try, I can't possibly do that. My imaginations just won't let me enter in that world anymore. So I'm stuck trying to imagine stuff that is boring, old, not classy, and not exciting, not as much as it was back then when I was young. And so what is the point of all of this? Well, I don't know. It was just something that randomly came to my head, and I thought that I should let that thought pass. And so this is my way of letting it pass, Yep. So thanks for listening if you are, and if you are not, thanks for existing, I guess.